And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Klassen, joined by
Jabron.
Oh, the Parlay Pounder.
You got it. We're back.
Yes, we are. And we're going to stick right there.
Yeah.
With college football, because we have three games that have a little intrigue to them, I would say.
For sure.
And just let's start with the traditional Big Ten matchup.
Yeah.
The Indiana Hoosiers taking on the UCLA Bruins in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
At the Rose Bowl.
Pretty cool, Andy. Like you said, night game, 6:30, NBC. It's you wouldn't expect to see these two teams with that sort of time slot on NBC.
And how about this? Pair of unbeatens, right? UCLA's 1-0, Indiana's 2-0, and they are your 3-point road favorites.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, Indiana has played two very weak teams to start the season, but they've taken care of business in both and have outscored them 108-10.
That Western Illinois, 77-3. Yikes.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
It kind of just looks like the Hoosiers look like they could be competitive this season, Andy.
Yeah.
But this will be a tough road trip with a long travel, dealing with the heat. Yeah. UCLA looked pretty rough in their first game, but they have the benefit of coming off a bye week.
And they had to go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay, they had to. I get it. There's some things going there, but they still only beat the Rainbows by 3 points.
Exactly.
16-13.
So I'm very interested to see how both teams do against similar competition. This seems like kind of the same team to me, Andy, but I give the edge to Indiana. I think they've executed much better early in the season.
Right.
Give me the 3. Late with Indiana.
They also have a little bit more of a culture, UCLA has a new coaching staff. Their head man, Chip Kelly's like, I'd rather just be a coordinator at Ohio State.
It must be better to do that.
I'm out of here. I get it. Nice weather. Blah, 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 blah. Nope. So the Bruins have a lot left to be desired. They do have the one less game. I put a lot of stock in that early in the season. So I kind of like the Hoosiers here, too. I would just like to get this at under a 3. I don't know if I'm going to get it, though.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to stick right at that 3 just because UCLA is still kind of an unknown. Like you said, new coaching system, a lot of new players, all that kind of stuff. I just like Indiana. Like you said, more of a feel to them. I like the 3 points. UCLA, not going to get a lot of fans out there anyway. Yeah. Give me Indiana.
Yeah, this is actually going the other way. I'm just looking at the trajectory of the line. It opened up at -1.5 for Indiana.
Yep.
And now FanDuel has it up 3.5.
Yeah, I think it might get even further.
Yeah.
So as further down as you can get, Indiana, I do believe you're good up to a touchdown. I believe they do beat this team by a touchdown. But, I just like the Hoosiers.
And the Hoosiers have been a little bit of a cash cow lately. Against the spread, they have gotten 5 of the last 2 they have covered. UCLA's on the other end of that. They've only covered 2 of their last 7.
Yeah, I just really like this game, Andy, because we're going to see what these two teams are about, and obviously both of these teams play the Huskers down the road. So this will be a lot of fun to watch. Watch these teams go at it.
And they get the night kickoff on NBC.
Very
Pretty
good.
cool. All right, let's talk about another 6:30 kickoff on CBS.
Yeah.
This game lost a little bit of its luster.
Yeah, dang.
Sorry about that. We're talking about the Colorado Buffaloes.
Yeah.
Head on over to Colorado State, Kansas Stadium, and they are a full touchdown favorite here over Colorado State. Call me crazy. I'll just right off the bat, I like
the
Colorado.
Rams.
You like the Rams?
The Rams.
Oh, give me a break.
Colorado Buffalo's going to be favored for obvious reasons, just like you said, Andy. But they are 4-11 against the spread in their last 15 games, win favorites of 7 or more points, Andy.
I get it. Yeah.
Colorado State took Colorado into double overtime last year.
They did.
I believe this Colorado team is the exact same team, maybe even a little worse now that Shiloh is out. Because they are going to be passing to that side of the field wherever Travis Hunter is not. That's where they're going.
Okay.
They were a 24.5-point underdog last year, Andy. You can see that's caught up with them. Now they're just a 7 to 7.5 point.
Right.
If you can find this at 7.5 towards the Colorado State Rams, I believe that is a good bet. Once it gets to 7, obviously, I think Colorado can still win this game. So you're kind of splitting words there.
Yeah, FanDuel, what I'm looking at, still has a 7.5. What you're looking for, plus Colorado State. I just came across just a crazy stat here. Let me pull it up. The Rams are allowing 34.5 points per game. That is ranked 121st in D1 collegiate football.
Can I give you the reason for that?
Sure.
They played Texas, which could be the best team in college football.
That's true.
I think that they maybe are the best team in football. I hate that because no hook 'em here. But Colorado State, I think that is going to help them in this game. They're not going to be so jittery for a big game. They've already played Texas.
Yeah.
They've already did a big game. It's not like similar patterns in Colorado. The offensive line is absolutely atrocious for Colorado. They're going to be able to get after Shadur, and that defense, as we've seen, has a lot of holes in it, and a lot more holes in it now that Nebraska's beat them up a little bit. So if you can get this over a touchdown, I believe the Rams are good. Obviously, there is a back of the feelings thinking that Travis Hunter and Shadur are just going to pummel this team. But we have seen, Andy, even with the first 2 weeks of college football, it takes more than 2 or 3 players to win college football games.
Yeah, the Buffalo, we've heard about their offensive line being rebuilt, and the question was, well, how much better are they going to be? Oh, maybe not at all.
Maybe not at all.
You know what I mean? New names, new faces, and all that.
Yep.
And this line, you're spot on. This line opened up at 8.5. It's been bet down to just a square 7 on most books. You can still find that 7.5 out there. That's where you feel best at. If it does get to that just square 7, now you're talking something else.
Yeah, no, it's just because you even with those offensive pieces, you still think Colorado can win. Yeah. So if you want to. I don't believe that they're going to blow them out, but there is still chances of that when you have talent like Shadur and Travis Hunter. But there are a lot of players from Colorado on this Rams roster, and they're going to be motivated to stick it to the more popular school. Yeah. The Colorado Buffaloes have similar issues. Like you said, offensive line is a joke. The defense has holes.
Okay, so then are you betting the over? That's 58.5.
I'm not betting the over, Andy.
No?
I'm not betting the over. They're going to keep it close. They're going to keep it low scoring. If Colorado State wants a chance in this game, they have to limit them in points.
Okay, well, wanting to and doing is two different things. Let's move on to the nightcap game that everybody's going to be watching on the Big Ten Network. That is Northern Iowa heading on over to Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Both teams are 2-0, but Nebraska is, of course, your favorite here. It's hard not to let your fandom get in the middle of this.
No doubt about it.
Where a lot of things have been looking pretty darn good for the Huskers, but I can't believe that they are a 32.5 point favorite over a team that I have a lot of respect for. I really do.
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys that have gone to Northern Iowa that have played there. They always seem to be in a bowl game.
Yep.
We've seen them knock off Iowa. We've seen them knock off Iowa State in the past, and you're not surprised by it.
Yeah, no, you're not.
It's a
good program.
So here we are. They're it's an early season, but they're undefeated. And they're coming to Lincoln. I don't think the lights are going to be too bright for them or anything like that.
Yeah.
And the Huskers, they're gathering their flowers. The national talk, Mini Mahomes mania is at a fever pitch right now. A lot of things for me point towards Northern Iowa covering that spread.
Yeah. I mean, I think it opened at like 27.5 or whatever to get that money going, because a lot of people think that we will beat them by 4 touchdowns. I believe that gets it a little askewed, Andy, pushing it over that 4 touchdown mark, because we could just get up on them like we did on Colorado and let the defense do what they're doing.
Have an ugly second half.
Let
penalty
the
stricken.
defense do what they're doing. Don't give away anything else. On Northern Iowa side, like you were alluding to, Andy, the lines have been wonderful so far. Offensive front isn't allowing sacks, and the attack averaging 300 yards per game on the ground, Andy. The pass rush has been strong, and the defense is getting to the quarterback enough to matter, Andy. So I get that one of those things is going up against the biggest strength of Nebraska, which is our defensive line. So we're gonna knock that right in the bud. But there hasn't been any takeaways for that defense, but there has been just 1 turnover so far. So the offense does keep that ball in their pocket and doesn't give it away. So
they've been a good team over the years.
They're going to play clean, Andy, I believe, and the lines hold up, and they might get a little pressure on Dylan Raiola, but I still believe Nebraska's, talent-wise, is just way, way out ahead of them. I do believe we get them by 4 touchdowns. I do not like them covering the 32.5, like you said.
Okay, you like Nebraska rolling here. I was a little bit more confident in Nebraska last week. I just see these big numbers like, when it was time to really put Colorado, well, they got put away in the first half.
Yeah.
But when it was time to kind of have some fun, get that shot ski back out there, get another score.
Yeah.
There was a hold up, and it was usually a questionable penalty. I'll give them that, but it was still happening.
Still happening.
Where the points didn't just come. You look at some of these offensive numbers, and Nebraska has a huge advantage.
Yeah.
I'm looking at our lead receiver who already has 152 yards on the year in Nair, compared to their Sergio Mornancy.
Yeah.
He has 57 yards on the year. So if you like that.
They just take care of the ball and run the ball. And I think their strengths are going to be really tough to get any yards on our strength, which is our defensive line. And so I don't expect them to score a lot, Andy. Yeah. So I just don't believe that we're going to blow them out of the water by 40 points. We could. I hope we do.
Yeah.
I just don't see us running away with this one.
What about that total then at 47.5? Because if I don't have confidence in Northern Iowa's offense,
which I don't in this game.
Yeah, I don't either. That leaves a lot of the heavy lifting then to Nebraska.
Yeah.
And like you said, there's so many scenarios and a little bit of tape now where if Nebraska gets a lead, they're fine,
winning
like
by
you said.
28 points.
Exactly.
Winning by 24 points. We don't care.
Yeah.
No, I do see this game ending pretty much like 35-7, Andy, which would be under that under.
Yep.
So if I had to bet it, I'm probably sidestepping all Nebraska stuff this week. They did me well last week.
Yeah,
so
they did.
No, I would bet on Northern Iowa covering, and I would bet the under. That's my two leans on this game, but I will be sidestepping these games for sure.
Well, and if you're just a good little boy from the middle of Nebraska, you can't bet the Nebraska home game anyway. So we can't do it anyways. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? No such thing as a VPN or anything like that.
Yeah, no.
So I think we're kind of in lockstep there as well.
Yeah.
Really good sharp lines here. You could see it going either way. If I had to bet it, I'd probably like Northern Iowa to cover this.
Yeah.
And I might go with that under there. I hope I wouldn't bother me a bit to see this over, 52-0 Huskers.
That would be awesome.
Do me proud.
Yeah, do me proud, Huskers. I do believe that we'll win by four scores. So give me the Huskers by 4 scores.
Yeah, horn went off there just a little bit, so that means we're up against it. But we got to take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Nebraska Brewing Company. World class in every glass. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL.